Hello, everyone. This is W.A.K. William, host of the High Art on the Edge page. In today's event, I had the extraordinary opportunity to speak with Sean Eden and Dean Wareham from the legendary indie band Luna. We celebrated the vinyl reissue of the 1999 classic album, The Days of Our Nights. In this conversation, you will hear Sean and Dean talk about some of their memories regarding the making of the album. Grab a good drink, pull up a good chair, and enjoy the album listening party plus Q&A with Sean and Dean from Luna. Sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember this album. Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. This is W.A.K. William, host of the High Art on the Edge page. Today's event, we have a special event as we are honoring, retracing our steps, if you will, revisiting an album, according to me, is a timeless classic. Of course, we're talking about The Days of Our Nights by Luna, celebrating the reissue on vinyl. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Sorry about the technical snafu there. I do want to bring in Sean Eden, Dean Wareham from Luna. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Hello from Brooklyn.
Dean, and you're in Brooklyn right now, and how's everything going over there?
It's nice. It's the weather's lovely. It's jumping out here. It's busy.
And are you still riding high from the birthday that you just celebrated?
Oh, I suppose so. I guess so.
And Sean, where are you patching in from?
San Francisco.
Very cool. And
Yes.
you enjoying the Bay Area?
Yes, I live here now. I was the last Luna member to leave New York. Yeah, it's true.
You can say that on your tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has that on their tombstone, so you're safe. So you're enjoying the Bay Area. How long have you lived here for?
Really only about a year. Although I've been here most of the time the last few years, being bi-coastal, but living here most of the time.
Good. Well, keep enjoying it. We've actually hit some phenomenal weather. And everyone, thank you again for tuning in. If you want to let us know where you're patching in from, that would be awesome. Right now, Martin Thomas is tuning in from Johannesburg, which is fantastic. So let me tell you how this album listening party is going to work for you all. What we're going to do in a few minutes is you're going to get The Days of Our Nights album loaded onto your computer, CD, vinyl, whatever device you have. And then when I say hit it, which is what HI stands for, you're going to hit play on your device. You're going to enjoy the album at your house. You will not hear this album streamed, patched through Facebook. Let me repeat. You will not hear this album come through Facebook at all. You have to play the album on your own device at home. Okay? Now, you can get that on Bandcamp. You can go to Spotify. You can use CD, vinyl, whatever you have for this album. As you're listening to the album, you can type in comments. Let us know how these songs resonate with you. If you have any concert experiences regarding this album, when they toured for it, feel free to share it. Feel free to put in some questions for Sean and Dean. And then after the album is over, I'm going to do a quick Q&A with them, and we'll dive deeper into the making of the album. And then we'll wrap it up. So before we start this, I want to read some albums that came out in 1999, just to give us some perspective. We had Sleater Kinney, the Hot Rock. Bonnie Prince Billy, I See Darkness. We had the mega smash. Who knew this was coming? Moby in Play. Beck's Midnight Vultures. And one of my favorites by this band, XTC Apple Venus. And then, of course, we have The Days of Our Nights. So those are some albums that came out in 1999. We have some people tuning in. Jesse is from Tucson, Arizona. Robert from Frankfurt, Germany. OK4 from upstate South Carolina. Harris. And yeah. And of course, Sean says hello from City by the Bay. That would be Sean. Okay.
Yes.
So everyone, right now, get that album uploaded to your device, whatever you're using. And then we are going to have an album listening party, and you can type in any comments respectfully, ask questions, and then after the album listening party, I'll do a quick Q&A. Sean and Dean, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you, when was the last time you heard this album in its entirety?
Very recently, because we got test pressings that we had to improve. So
great. We'll talk about that.
We had a close listen.
We'll talk about that as well. And Sean and Dean, feel free to turn off your mic, turn off your screen, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yes, if you see me disappear like that, we're still alive. Have no fear.
Yes.
All right.
We are going to do that.
And I am going to, yeah.
Eat lunch.
All right. Everyone, here we go. When I say hit it, you're going to hit play, and we're going to enjoy 1999's this album. I cannot wait to talk about some of these songs here. And enjoy, everyone. Hit it.
I think I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute my camera, Sean. I'll see you in a little while. I thought this would be awkward. We'll just be sitting here like Tucker.
No, I know.
Just
I think I'm going to mute my camera too. Okay, later.
Yes, listening to the sweet, velvety sounds of Luna. Hello, little one. This is W, High Art on the Edge page. Album listening party with Luna, with Dean and Sean. That was Hello, Little One. We're going to go to our third track here, The Old Fashioned Way. That was the old fashioned way, sliding right into track number 4, 4,000 Days. What a great solo. Yeah, 4,000 Days. Love that song. Love it in live setting as well, as I mentioned. Album listening party here with Luna. 7 Steps to Satan. 7. Dean and Sean. Turn it up, everyone. Here comes the drop. Yeah. Seven steps to Satan. Days of our night. Listening where my name is W. Most of us I are. Tuning in. Perish. And Luna. Here comes your track. Super frequent memories.
What's going on now?
Well, that was super freaky memories. We're going to move right into math whiz. Here we go, math whiz. Phase would be priceless. Oh, love that. Man, that sounded so good. So, man, you get through a lot of books quickly here. All right, our next song.
Freud now.
Get your whistles ready. Oh, yeah, words without wrinkles. Let's move up to our next.
Ha 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 ha.
The Rustler. Yes. That was the wrestler US Out of My Pants. Days of Our Nights album listening party here with Dean and Sean. My name is W. Let's keep rolling on. Said USA. US out of my pants. We're going to learn a whole new language on this next song. This is the slow song. And I will not be singing because I don't know German. Good luck. We're going to wrap it up. Last tune. This is a great rendition. Here we go. This is not GNR. Well, it is kind of.
That is the question.
Yes, Sweet Child of Mine, Days of Our Nights album listening party. My name is W, aka William. Here with Dean Wareham, Sean Hannon from Luna. Thank you all for all of your
Hey,
fabulous. Hey, what did you
Hey,
think of that?
of that record?
Yeah, what did you enjoy?
I can't get it to work.
Well, I enjoyed the record. Have you got Sean muted, William?
No,
There he
no.
goes. Got away. Now he's back. We can hear you and we can see you, Sean.
Hey,
Yeah, we
Hey.
can hear you.
you can hear
how are you?
me?
Yes.
I can't hear
Howdy.
you.
What?
Go ahead, Dean. I'm just gonna mute him for a second.
Hold on.
I enjoyed that. Like I think I've mentioned this to a few people. For a while, I didn't really like this record for a while.
Can you
but,
hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
We do.
How come I can't hear you guys?
Can anyone else out there hear us?
That sucks.
Yeah, you need to be able to hear us.
Hey, should I try to re-log in?
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
What the?
What's your language? There's some good songs on here. There's some weird ones too. There's a few that I don't like, but I think I had mentioned this in a newsletter. That's sometimes when you go back and listen to a record, you just feel sort of the pain and difficulty of making it, or what was happening to the band around them, which was that we were dropped right after we did it, and so you just don't even want to listen to it for a while. But
And
we're not always the best judge of what the good songs are or what the good records are.
well, I was going to ask you, are there any songs in particular that you didn't care for at that time, but now have a newfound appreciation for?
I really like Math Whiz a whole lot. Maybe my favorite song on the record. Not that I didn't like it at the time, but it wasn't one of my favorites, and now I think it is.
So why?
Well, we started playing it live. It's really fun to play live. It's just a good matter. And as Matthew Bazel pointed out on the chat, would have been a good single. And our manager Renee said the same thing at the time. But instead, Dear Diary was the single, and maybe that's a good single too.
We're gonna get
Here
Sean
comes
in
Sean.
here.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Hey,
Yay! We were just talking about. So I was just saying how much I love Math Whiz, and maybe it's maybe it's my favorite song on the record now. Oh, someone's calling me from Ontario, Canada. Is that you, Sean?
Really? No.
might be active. Sean,
I
have a
don't
question.
know. Yeah, go ahead.
So I asked Dean, are there any songs that you didn't care for at the time, but you have a newfound appreciation?
Well, listening to it right now, I would say I really enjoyed listening to the record right now. Probably more so than I did when I was listening to the test pressings a few weeks ago. I wasn't that keen on US Out of My Pants at the time. I was like, oh, it's kind of goofy, but I kind of like it. It's kind of dark and funny, and it's cool, and the outro is cool too.
Yeah. I want to start with the album cover.
Yes.
Richard Phillips, Horizontal Blonde.
Yeah.
Dean or Sean, do you want to?
Dean, you go ahead.
Well, that painting was hanging at the Whitney during the biennial, and that was Laurie Hensel who designed the art. She had been to see it. But I think actually I had also bought the postcard when I saw it there. But anyway, she knew Richard Phillips, and she suggested that as a cover. It's a pretty great painting. I think that painting, it sold for a whole lot of money. of which he didn't receive any. You know how this, because sometimes an artist makes this great painting early on and they sell it pretty cheap, and then like 5 years later, they're worth a whole lot more. And there's a movement among artists to try and do something about that, to try and have there be some kind of tax, so that when a dealer later sells your work for $30 million, maybe you get a cut too.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great painting.
Oh, he does some really provocative work. If for those of you who aren't familiar with Richard Phillips' work, check him out online. And then I want to open this up to a bit of the production work by Paul Kimball, known for his playing with Grantley Buffalo.
Yeah.
So how did you come about choosing him?
Well, as I recall, we were kind of banding about various names, of which I don't really remember, but I remember having a meeting with Nancy Jeffries, who was our new A&R person at Elektra, after Terry had unceremoniously left. And I remember having a meeting with her office, and Paul Kimball was one of the people that she suggested, because he had done a little bit of work on that Velvet Goldmine.
Velvet Goldmine, right.
Soundtrack.
Yeah, so it was Nancy's idea. There you go.
Sort of, like, we didn't really know him, but
yeah.
And I remember the first time we ever met him was at Bowery Ballroom, right? And I think like we had kind of decided we were going to work with him, and then like we finished the show and we went up stairs to the backstage area, and there he was.
Huh.
But maybe I don't know if I'm remembering that right, but
maybe you did.
Was he familiar with Luna music at the time?
Probably not.
Oh.
I don't know.
So what did he add? What were some of his strengths in terms of production value?
He's a good musician. He played some keys. He played some cool keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was pleasant to be around, which is an important quality.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's pretty laid back. Pretty laid back dude. So yeah, he was fun and funny and laid back. And also his engineer, this guy Brian Z, was a big part of the sound of things too, because he was pretty particular about miking things and the way he liked things to sound and stuff.
Yeah.
In terms of its overall production and sound, I think it sounds very fresh today. Do you get that feeling as well?
It doesn't sound dated. I would say, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, it's a really interesting record. Like, yeah, because I wouldn't say like, oh, it defies categorization. I wouldn't say something like that, but it does feel kind of fresh, because it does. You can't really like say like, oh, it's like this, or it's this genre or whatever, in a way.
Right.
But it sounds like mid to late period Luna, I guess. Well, I mean, at the time, it's more. There's a lot more going on. Like I think as bands are together longer and longer, the records get more and more maybe complicated. Production gets more instruments and loops. So
So that's what I want. I did want
the Days of Our Nights and Romantica.
I wanted to ask you about that with regards to the challenges of making this album, if you can recall. Was there a song or two that were just a pain in the ass to construct? Things were just not working, whether it be the lyrics, whether it be the melody, or
I don't think so.
Yeah.
On this one, not like, Pup Tent certainly had some songs like that. I don't think this one did. It's hard. It's so long ago.
Yeah,
you really do start to forget these things.
Yeah.
I remember like when we were rehearsing the songs and kind of putting things together, like we all kind of felt, and I think this was really true, that we were maybe heading into making the record a little too soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was true with Pup Tent
No.
too. But
Yeah.
Did you feel pressured, like from just kind of that time period, like bands are just cranking out stuff, album after album? Did you fall into that, or you're just like, you know what, we're just gonna
no,
do
look, I
what
mean,
we
look, we were certainly told before this record by Nancy, things are changing up here. If you don't deliver, a hit song that will get played on the radio, the band will be dropped. But I think we've been told that many times before, so it's just like, oh yeah, right, okay. But this time it was true. It ended up being true.
Yeah.
When I saw you for this tour, it was in San Francisco, where I've seen you many times. If I'm not mistaken, and this where it goes back to the memory stuff, Dean, I remember some of these songs, maybe you fleshed them out a little bit more, maybe you extended them. How much time and effort do you put into your concert performances in terms of, okay, we're going to add and extend and, do something a little bit more improvisational to some of these songs?
Well, we don't practice that. We don't practice that often now. Just because we've played most of the songs so many times, we don't actually really need to. We are going to start playing some of these songs, and we are going to have to spend some time on them. But
Yeah.
Sean, did you want to speak to that in terms of?
I'm sorry, I was distracted for a minute because I was answering a text. Please repeat what you were saying.
He was asking, do we really like spend time on like fleshing these songs out and making them longer for live?
Oh. No, not really, but we definitely will we often change the outros of things or extend them a little bit or decide or shorten them or whatever. We'll definitely, we make little adjustments, and we certainly take liberties with playing certain parts or thinking like, oh, I'm going to use this sound or I'm going to play it a little like this. It's a little different than the record. We do things like that all the time.
And is there a song in the concert setting that has kind of taken on a life of its own? You're like, wow, the audience is really responding well to this song.
From this record?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, probably not. I don't know. I feel like Black Postcards is one song that we really kind of extended and would do all kinds of things with.
Yeah. And we get requests. Yeah,
we keep to a structure.
So, we get requests about various different records. Like, I'm excited. Like, on the upcoming shows, we'll do 4,000 Days, which we haven't played in, I don't know, a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And I also want to say, like I really like playing Sweet Child of Mine, and I feel like some people really like it when we play that, and I feel like some people maybe don't, just because it's a Guns N' Roses song. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but sometimes I wonder, sometimes it gets a good response, and sometimes I feel like it gets a muted response.
Was this the last? Thank you for sharing that. Was this the last album that Justin worked on?
Yes.
Yeah.
He moved back to New Zealand. Well, he had already, even after we made the record, he was back there, and then he came back to do the fall tour that we did, and then he was moved back there again, and
So describe just as Justin Harwood from the Chills. Describe his bass playing. What did he add to Luna?
His bass playing it's forceful. I would say his bass playing is forceful. He's an excellent bass player. He's been playing since he was a kid. So, I mean, I think like Britta would say, she learned a lot about playing bass by just having to learn these bass lines that Justin's playing, like having to study those parts.
Yeah.
And he would play lead bass, and
Yeah, and occasionally, like on the records, he would play other stuff too. Like he would do like, oh, I want to play this guitar part in this part of the song, you know. Because sometimes he would contribute, like he would write some of the music for some of the songs too. So
yes, he wrote a lot. He wrote some of the guitar parts for sure.
Yeah.
This I want to transition into the vinyl reissue. This is Real Gone Music. Is that correct?
Yes, I met Gordon from Real Gone at a Red Eye. That's our distributor, Red Eye party about a year ago, and then he called me the next day. He's like, "Hey, what's going on with this record? This hasn't been re-released and on vinyl." So,
and you've heard the test pressing. Sound good?
We've got finished product.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll send you one.
Sweet.
Yeah, I should have done that already.
No worries.
It's
so
available
here if you come into the city.
Go ahead, Sean.
What
did you say?
I said I've got some copies here of the LP. If you come into the city, feel free to stop by. I'll give you one.
Thank you so much. In the test pressing, how much did you actually have a say in that? Did you go back and be like, let's tweak some things here?
Do we tweak? You know what? It's a long album, which puts some pressure on it. It's not as loud as some other things, but it sounds very clean. It's a good pressing. We don't, what's not on our label, so we're not that involved in the production of it. So, but they do use they press it at Got a Groove in Cleveland, who've done they did Luna's Bewitched. They did the whole box set. They did A Sentimental Education as well. So they are actually Luna fan. The owner of the company is a huge Luna fan, which is great actually, because we can actually get him on the phone and he'll answer our questions.
Right.
So I'm going to read before we wrap this up, and we'll get to some questions here from the fans. I'm going to read a few things just to get us back into that mindset of 1999. SpongeBob SquarePants premiered. Remember that one? Okay. Cost of gallon of gas, average, $1.22. A loaf of bread at that time, $1.49. The average house price was $79,000.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Not in San Francisco.
Not in San Francisco. The Napster released.
Oh yeah, we're aware of that.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was acquitted.
Right. Yes.
Was he? He was acquitted
on February 12th. His 5-week-long impeachment trial.
Okay. Well, he was impeached, but then acquitted then, because he was impeached.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
And then Jack Kevorkian was sentenced. Remember, good old Dr. Jack here. So my point is, 1999. Where was Luna's headspace? What was going on?
Well, I mean, after we turned the record in, the band got dropped, so there was that. And then our accountant dropped us too. They were like, "Yeah, you guys aren't making enough money. We're having to drop all the people that don't make it," because they were bought by American Express, Shearson Lehman American Express. They were like bigger. That's fine. We got a better accountant.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, it was definitely a little bit of a time of uncertainty, especially after we got dropped, and then we hooked up with this label that, ironically, their distribution was through Warner Music. Yeah. But they were their own sort of quasi-independent label, so they put it out. Jericho Records, Cello Recordings, Jericho. Yeah. But I remember, we all thought, that happened. That wasn't the first time that I wondered, well, man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with the band? Like, it's, you know, because you start to think like, oh, we don't have a record deal. What's, you know.
Yeah. At least we still had Beggars Banquet still believes in us. They put the record out. But yes, it was, I mean, I think it's interesting. You mentioned Napster. And I think the whole, everything that was happening with tech stocks, with the tech world, in a way, you know, the story of this record is involved with that. Because one, we kind of soon learned that sales started going down as people were using Napster all the time. And then two, I think it was like April of 2000, March, April, when the tech stock collapse happened.
Yeah.
And it so happened that the owner of this label that was putting out a record, he was an internet billionaire. He made all his money in that. But I think when the tech stopped, as soon as that thing happened, it was like 3 days later, it's like, I'm shutting down the label.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's just like that whole bubble burst. And not that he could still afford to run the label, but I guess he's just like, I'm losing money on this toy. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was crazy.
I mean, the other thing about the band too is Justin basically did move to New Zealand, and it wasn't, you know, Dean's talked about it, and you talked about it in your book too. Like, it was kind of like, oh, did he quit?
He didn't quit the band.
And move on. What?
Yeah, he didn't announce he was quitting. Anyway.
Yeah, and so that was a big transition because then we had to find a new bass player, and that's how Britta, you know, joined the band.
Yeah. I just saw Justin. He was in Los Angeles last week.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. Yeah.
Good. This idea that many people are tuning in, have seen you play live in different areas of the world. There's a band called the Wild Swans, post-punk band from the early 80s.
Yeah.
And Paul Simpson, the lead singer of that band, whenever he goes to the Philippines, he's treated like royalty. Now, why the Philippines? Manila, we have no idea why. Is there a part of the world where you have found like, wow, there are rabid Luna fans in this pocket? That you would go, that surprises me a little bit.
I mean, in all of Europe, it's when we cross into Spain, we have all of a sudden we sell a whole lot more tickets. We're very popular in Spain.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'd say the USA. I don't know, but nothing like that. No, we're not like on TV. Well, a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's take a question or two, some comments here along the way.
Don't be scared, people.
Let's see. We're gonna back up here. Head Full of Wishes says, you've often said how you really don't like Dear Diary. So who decided to make it side one, track one, which suggests someone really did like it?
You know what? I don't like it. You know, the only thing there's just a couple of lyrics in it that I was like, I could do better. So sometimes you just hear that and it's like, I wish I'd like written just something a little better for that. That's all. Because I mean, it's fun to play, and listening to it again last week, I'm like, actually, that's fine. I don't know why why it bugged me, but just sometimes you get that stuck in your head that
you guys are frozen. I hope you can hear me.
Man, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Come on.
Sound great. Okay, here's the next question. D-Man77 says, who did the CD case artwork on Luna Park?
Laurie Hensel, who also did this one as well. So it's the same designer.
Jesse Furrow says, how do you feel now about California All the Way?
It's not my favorite Luna song, but it's a lot of people's favorite Luna song. We've played it so many times. Yes, but
yeah.
Matthew says there was a track on the original promo CD of the album that was not on the official release. I cannot remember what it was. Is it on this release?
No. The
No.
vinyl. We don't have room to fit it on the vinyl. And I
What
remember what it
was
was.
that song? What are they talking about?
Well, it's either Requiem for a Mouse, that was on the promo. We changed, we swapped that song out. But
All right.
what's the one on Utopia Parkway?
What?
Oh, Matthew says that's it.
On Utopia Parkway, vampires cannot be photographed. Somebody, I forget what it's called, but it should have been maybe on the record. Like sometimes we don't know. I know Howard Thompson's like, that's a really good song.
Yeah, Requiem for a Mouse was it. Dean.
Oh, Requiem for a Mouse. No, that's not a good song. No, that was not a good song. And that was like, I think we all listened to that. I think we had the album sequence with that on it. And I remember writing an email saying, does anyone else think maybe we should take this off? And Lee was like, I'm glad you said that, because it's like, and it's actually like the production on it, it's all really good, but it's just like, I don't know.
Dean, was Math Whiz about you?
No, Math Whiz was sort of, there's a novel called Ratner's Star that's about a mathematical a math whiz, and that was kind of the idea for the song Math Whiz. But
is there anything else about this album you want to share?
Sean?
You go ahead, Dean.
No, I don't know. We just shared the whole thing. I'm glad we put Sweet Child of Mine on there.
Me too. I mean, it's partially because I really haven't listened to it, very much at all in the last 20 years, aside from the last few weeks, because after you finish a record and stuff, and then the songs, and then you play them live for a while, at least for me, like sometimes I don't revisit the record.
Yeah. For a long
time. And it's been really like listening to it. I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. I'm like, oh yeah. It sounds cool. Yes. It's been exciting to sort of refamiliarize myself with it again.
Let's wrap this up. What's next for Luna?
Well, we're getting together in New York in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
To rehearse for some shows, and we're gonna have to practice some of these songs and some other songs. So we've got some East Coast shows. We're gonna go to Spain.
Yeah.
Any reissues for other Luna albums in the future?
I don't know. There was some talk of doing like a deluxe pup tent and a deluxe Bewitch, but it's we'll see.
Sean, what about you? Anything you want to add?
What?
Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up? Close the curtain?
Not that I can think of offhand.
All right. Canyons Fisher says pup tent. There we go. One last question. What was the story of the live album that came out after?
A live album. Well, yeah, that was part again. When we got dropped by a label, Howard Thompson, who had been head of Aaron Elector, told him, he's like, make your live album now, because like that's when the moment you're not signed to any label, you can make a live album that you actually the band owns. Yeah. So we had half of that was recorded at the Knitting Factory when Justin was on bass, and then the second half was recorded at the 930 Club in Washington, D.C. with Britta on bass.
Thank you both for this stroll down memory lane. I really enjoyed listening to this album with you and the fans. I just want to announce for my page here, we have some more events coming up. This new feature I started, it's called Surprise. It's where a co-host and myself shine a spotlight on a band's work, and then we get some surprise guests affiliated with that band. Coming up on August 6th, we are going to shine a spotlight on Spiritualized. August 14th, Trash Can Sinatras. September 1st, The Bats, legendary indie band The Bats. And then on September 23rd, we're going to shine a spotlight on Bauhaus.
Who are the surprise guests?
What'd you say?
Who are the surprise guests going to be?
I guess you're going to have to wait and find out. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. And you just never know who's going to show up. Anyways, that's all on High Art on the Edge. Thanks again to Dean Wareham, Sean Eden from Luna.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you out there.
We'll see you in the concerts, and keep buying their good stuff and supporting the band. And
William, you don't want to, we shouldn't log off yet, right? So the thing's
not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.